Hello everyone, bringing you a video today looking at this. Now this is a leather pouch for the M45 submachine gun, or Swedish K, or Carl Gustaf, various different names for it. It's a 9mm submachine gun with a 36 round magazine, quite an effective design, and they were used by special forces. They were used to a limited degree in Vietnam. They were also used by the Irish Defence Forces, and that's the main reason I wanted to pick up one of these leather magazine pouches. These were used extensively alongside the submachine guns, so it'll be excellent for future videos where I'm putting together mannequins showing Irish kit and so forth. They were used for quite a long time period, from the 1960s right the way through into the late 80s, early 90s, when Ireland switched over to using the Steyr AUG from using the combination of a FAL battle rifle and the Carl Gustaf submachine gun. So without further ado, we'll get into the main part of the video and have a look at this in a little bit more detail. So the design is not particularly complicated, but the construction is quite involved. It's very well made bit of kit, leather pouch, very high quality in terms of manufacture and so forth. The design, there are actually three different designs based on this. This is the simplest, which has no external pockets. It's just got the four cells across here. You can see the rivets for the internal dividers, four compartments for the 36 round magazines. There is another example which has a pouch on the side, which I believe is for an oil bottle, and then there's a further design which has an additional pouch on the other side, which I believe is to contain a cleaning kit, and they would be attached onto the sides here. This, as I say, is the simplest design and seems to be the one that was used by Irish forces, which doesn't have these pouches for the cleaning kit and oil bottle. So, as I say, all very similar, all basically this design, just with the other two having one and then two additional pouches on the outside for the accessories. If we open this up, we can see the way magazines are carried in here. Now, the compartments are formed, I'll open up both flaps here. The compartments are formed by leather sections riveted into place, and then you have a flap over each pair of compartments for the magazines. The magazine compartment at this end here has a leather pull tab inside it. I believe this could be used to help withdraw that first magazine, and then from there it's then easier to get hold of the magazine adjacent to it and along. So that leather strap in there fits into that magazine compartment. It's stitched in here, as you can see. It is riveted in place, but it has a press stud fastening there. I'm not quite sure why that is, because it is riveted in place. What this press stud is section over the top here, for what purpose that serves, I'm not entirely sure. So if anyone can clarify that, I'd be very interested to know, because it seems to be a bit of an odd feature of the design. I'll just put that back in there. It's out of the way. Look at the other features. As I say, these internal compartments are riveted in place. You have these stud closures, obviously two for each of the flaps, and sewn in place with a little piece of leather there. Very sturdy design, very well made, very thick leather at the sides here to give it enough stiffness, as you can see, to make it more of a leather box as opposed to a soft leather pouch. Let's close these up again. You can see to the rear here again the riveted construction, not only for the inner compartments but for the shoulder strap there as well. You have these rivets to hold that in place. So this is construction you'd see more. This sort of leather construction is something you see on much earlier British equipment. Obviously we went over to web gear very much earlier than these were produced. So it's interesting to see these construction methods being used to make leather military equipment much later on. And in Irish service, of course, these were used from the 60s right the way through into the late 80s, early 90s, when the Irish Defence Forces moved away from using the M45 to adopting the Steyr AUG to replace it. So the shoulder strap itself, as you can see here, is a very heavy duty leather strap, adjusted. It's in two parts, adjusted by this big roller buckle here. Very heavy duty. A little leather keeper there, and then this is actually a replacement piece made for me by Graham the leather guy, who sent the combat boots that have appeared in a video recently as well. This is just a wider section of leather which slots over the strap to provide a bearing surface for the shoulder, to spread the weight a little bit. It was missing from this pouch, so Graham made me a piece according to the measurements of a friend of mine has as an example, which has the shoulder piece. So it was replicated from the measurements taken from that. And then that's basically the design. There's not much more to talk about with it. It's quite a simple design, but very long lived, as I say. And the primary reason for me having this is in use part of my Irish kit. In Irish service, these were used with both 1937 pattern web equipment used alongside it and alongside the later 1958 pattern. Both sets of British web equipment adopted by the Irish Defence Forces, and let's say these were used alongside them. I have an example of that here from the Congo in the 1960s. You can see the magazine pouches being carried along with the use of 1937 pattern web equipment, and then a photograph here from the 1980s showing these pouches used alongside 1958 pattern. So there we are. I hope you found it interesting looking at that. Certainly something which is going to feature in a future video, looking at some more Irish kit, all being well. That's the plan anyway. If you'd like to see that and other future uploads on the channel, please do consider subscribing if you haven't already. And whether you're newly subscribing or you've previously subscribed, please do make sure you hit the little bell, little notification button down below. That will of course alert you when I upload future videos. If you really like my uploads and you would like to support the channel, you can. Both Patreon and PayPal are linked down below. And as ever, a huge thank you to everybody who supports the channel using those two methods. I really appreciate it very much. Thank you all very much indeed. If you'd like to follow the channel on social media, you can. Facebook, Instagram and Twitter are all linked down below. And if you'd like to get in touch but you don't really use social media, there is of course an email address down there as well. That's everything for this video. So until next time, bye for now.